Hi everybody, Naoji Moriuchi with the Moriuchi Group at Compass, and I'm here today on West Main Street in Moorestown, New Jersey. We're doing a new segment called Good Neighbors. I'm really excited about it. We're going to hear stories about people involved in our communities and make it a special place to live. The good neighbors we're going to meet today are the people involved in the Moorestown Fire Department. Let's go hear a few of their stories of why they love to live and work in Moorestown. All right, so we're here with Chris Chesner of the Moorestown Fire Department at 311. Chris, how are you doing today?
Good. Naoji, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Great.
Tell us a little bit about what you do for the Moorestown Fire Department.
I've been with the fire department for 30 years. I started as a volunteer and I moved on to be the business administrator, known in the fire service as the fire district administrator. I've held various positions before that, from lieutenant, captain. I was the deputy chief for a period of time. I'm also the public information officer for the fire district. So the Moorestown Fire Department is a volunteer fire department. However, we do have career administrative staff. So we have myself as the fire district administrator. We have an individual that takes care of the buildings and grounds, takes care of the apparatus. We have a training officer, and we have an account clerk that works in our office as well. We also have a career fire prevention staff that we share services with our other fire district, our sister district, Moorestown Fire District 2. And then below that are all the volunteers, including our officers that are volunteers as well.
So tell me about what you enjoy about your career within the fire district.
I enjoy working with all the volunteers in the department. I enjoy working with the officers. I enjoy working with the Board of Fire Commissioners. I enjoy being out in front of people, especially the taxpayers and the residents of Moorestown. I grew up in Moorestown. I know Moorestown very well. I love the fire department. I love being a part of it.
So Chris, we grew up here in town. Tell us a little bit about why you love Moorestown and this community.
I love Moorestown because the residents love to volunteer. We're one of the few departments in the area that are 100% volunteer. We have residents that love to get involved. They get involved with a lot of organizations throughout the township, whether it's their church groups, the fire department, civic groups, and I think that's what makes Moorestown so special. A lot of people in Moorestown that leave, for instance myself that went down to college, came back. A lot of my friends that I graduated actually came back to town. So it's a nice town. It's very homey.
So I've been here about 17 years. I've been working here. And about 6 years ago, I became a volunteer firefighter, and the reason for that is the family aspect, and I get a lot of support as a female firefighter.
So what are some of the things, Bart, that you help train the firefighters on?
So the Firefighter 1 program that's given by the county, we try to send our firefighters up there prepared for what they're going to encounter. Moorestown has had a good track record, a very strong track record, both academically and physically at the Fire Academy. And I think that's a testament to the officers and firefighters here that train and prepare the firefighters either by tool identification or understanding tactics, strategy, and things of that nature.
How often do you train?
So department drills are once a week, Thursday nights, about 2 hours. But firefighters are welcome to take classes all throughout the year.
And do you have different groups sometimes that just get together and practice something in general?
Yeah, from time to time. There's been some interest, especially in the summer months. Some of the members will get together and they'll work on either rapid intervention training or forcible entry, whatever they're feeling like they want to brush up on.
So Bart, tell us why someone would want to be a volunteer firefighter.
Oh, I think being a firefighter is a great way to give back to your community. It's a sense of purpose, a sense of belonging with the fire department. There's a great group of members here. That team feeling, that feeling of camaraderie is big in the fire service. We're a very close-knit group. We would call it a family. And I think myself, like a lot of the other members, feel that if you have the ability to serve and help others, then you have a moral obligation to do so.
So Bart, you live here in town, in Moorestown. Yep. Tell me a little bit about why you love this community.
Growing up, it offered me a lot of opportunities, sports, clubs and different organizations. I know probably everybody says this about the town they grew up in, but all my friends are here, And as I've gotten older and come back to town, I've realized it's a great place to raise a family. Again, the schools are phenomenal. Geographically, we're right in the middle of everything. You can get to Philly or New York pretty quickly, but we still have that quiet, small community feel.
So if you want to become a volunteer firefighter, what are the things that someone should do?
It's as easy as stopping in the firehouse and talking to anybody that's here, or you can go to our website, moorestownfire.org, and there's a link to join now. You'll fill out an application, and that goes directly to my inbox, and I'll be in contact.
Rudy, you're Deputy Fire Chief here for Moorestown. How many Deputy Chiefs are there?
There's one Deputy Chief, there's one Chief. We do have 2 Battalion Chiefs, 2 Captains, 4 Lieutenants.
Wow, okay. So what does your role entail?
Well, being a Deputy Chief, I'm the Chief's right-hand man, and my responsibility is operations, where I deal with strategy and tactics on the fire ground.
So when you're not fighting fires, what do you do in your spare time?
Well, I'm a deacon for my church, Tabernacle Baptist Church, and also I'm a DJ.
You're a DJ?
Yes.
What's your DJ name?
DJ Wiz.
I like it.
And also I have a internet Christian radio show, which is called WHIZ Radio, which I just launched this year.
Oh, congrats.
And a little over 2 months now, I've been having roughly around 8,000 listeners.
Wow.
Where I play gospel, hip hop, gospel R&B, and gospel contemporary music.
And so what got you into, I'm going to transition back to the fire department, what got you into the fire department? What made you decide, like, this is something I want to do, and why Moorestown? You live here in town. So.
Well, I wanted to be a firefighter ever since the age of 3. Growing up in Philadelphia, I used to hang out numerous fire stations within the community. My mother always knew where to find me. All she had to do, pick up the phone and call a particular station, and I was there. I was what they called a chaser. So as I grew older, I used to go around town, find the fires, and mingle with the firefighters, and always wanted to become a firefighter.
So you grew up in Philadelphia, and you came to Moorestown. What brought you here?
My beautiful wife for 22 years. 22 years ago, I met her in Moorestown, and I grew a liking to Moorestown. So once we became a union of one, I moved over here, and I noticed the strong community spirit, great schools. Because my wife and I, we raised 3 children, my son and 2 daughters. And my son is now in Atlanta. He's a successful producer. And I have 2 daughters now going to college. So school system's great. And that's where the fire department got the theme, neighbors helping neighbors. Because I noticed that in the time of need, the neighbors do come out and help one another.
So when I used to be involved in the fire department, it was Lieutenant Nutt.
Lieutenant Nutt, correct.
What's it today?
So now, since you've been going, I've moved up to the position and rank of Chief of the Department for District Number 1.
So what does that entail?
It entails running the operations, for both stations, for calls, fires, working with the administrator to get purchase equipment, things we may need to get through the course of the year to keep the firehouse running, and recruiting volunteers, obviously, to keep our volunteer organization growing.
Awesome.
So.
And how many, you were talking about calls, how many calls do you guys go on in a year roughly?
We're roughly close to 700 calls a year as a volunteer organization.
Wow. That's
a lot.
A lot.
A lot of calls. I mean, it's been awesome for my kids just coming. I was transplanted from Mount Laurel to Moorestown. Got my kids through the school systems. It's been a awesome, good education, great people. Met a lot of good friends over the years here. So, we very happy to be in Moorestown. Trust me. So this is very nice, and we appreciate your service that you gave us during the time, and hopefully we can get you back someday. It would be nice,
we were talking about
once
that.
a firefighter,
Actually,
always a firefighter.
Always a firefighter.
Yeah.
Actually, it is a special group of people. So if you're ever in town, by all means, you should learn more about the Moorestown Fire Department. So is it a requirement to have a mustache if you're a firefighter?
It is not a requirement, although it is highly encouraged. Strongly encouraged.